Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for March 11th to 17th. I'm still a little bit jet-lagged, so once I get back into the rhythm of sleep, current time zone, and work, I will have some more travel videos for you. This week I read 1 book, I watched 3 shows, I watched 2 movies, and I listened to 1 book. First this week I reread Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This is part of the Travel Simon project where my friend Shelley sends a copy around to other booktubers and we annotate it. I made a video about it while I was in Florida and I will link it in places. Simon is a boy growing up in Georgia who has a great family life and great friends. He also has a secret friend with whom he's been emailing since the summer. And although they don't know each other in person, they do have one thing in common. They're both gay and they're not out about it. A fellow student sees Simon's emails and uses them as leverage for Simon to open up his friendship group so the blackmailer can get closer to a cute girl. I adored this book and had some fun new times with it with the aforementioned project, so I obviously highly recommend picking it up if you haven't already. I know it is super hyped right now because the movie just came out, but coming from someone who also has been in the place of not wanting to pick something up because it's really hyped, I didn't read Harry Potter until 2013. If you want a cute love story peppered with friendship and Publix baked goods, just pick this one up. The bonus to popularity is it is widely available. While in Florida, Paige and I watched the first 3 episodes of The Good Place. Firstly, as someone who tore through Veronica Mars because she has a best friend who's genius enough to introduce her to it, I was excited to see Kristen Bell on a TV show again. Additionally, watching Paige flail about how much she loves the characters was extremely endearing. I'm looking forward to watching more of the show. If you haven't seen it before, this show is about a woman who goes to the good place, and although they have her name correct, all of the good things she seems to have done through her life, that wasn't her. In fact, she's kind of a terrible person. So much so that she ropes her supposed soulmate into helping her stay in the good place. I really like the premise and what has happened so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing it through. Sarah also introduced me to Adam Ruins Everything, and since you can watch the episodes out of order, we skipped around the first couple of seasons, ruining things like restaurants, summer holidays, security theater, and sex. Because who doesn't love an abrasive killjoy who makes you feel extremely unsafe while enlightening you to the fact that everything you know is a lie? Being a sapiosexual, this show and its list of sources and experts is right up my alley. Even if it makes the viewer feel crummy for effectively living an ineffective life. Upon returning from my vacation, I caught up on the latest episode of Survivor. I missed the 2nd episode in the season because I was having too much fun with my friends. But since it's early in the season, I don't know any of their names anyway. Not to mention there's the ever-useful previously on at the beginning of the 3rd episode. Because of that, I feel pretty caught up. I enjoy how the contestants are really embracing the theme of Ghost Island and trying to reverse curses. It's a fascinating premise, and I imagine it brings more to those who have seen all the seasons. This week, Paige, Sarah, and I watched Holes as part of the P&S Watch series, so that video should be up in early April because editing those videos is super intensive. If you aren't already subscribed to The Princess and the Scrivener, you could do that now. Or you'll know when that video is up because I will have a video going up the same day discussing the book. Either way, get excited. This book is about a boy who gets sent to a prison camp for children following a crime he didn't commit. It stars baby Shia LaBeouf, who I found out is the same age as me while I was googling to make sure I spelled his name right. Also, Dule Hill is in this film and I love him. The film that made me sob this week was Coco. I had considered watching it on the plane to Florida, but remembered that it is one of Sarah's favorite films, so I watched it with her while I was there. It's colorful, the story is compelling, and the family dynamics are familiar, yet explored in a way we don't often see. The music weaves into the narrative seamlessly, and I had tear tracks down both sides of my face near the end. This story is about following your dreams and knowing the real cost of doing so. It is about family and love and support, and I adored every moment of it. This week I listened to The Devil in White City by Eric Larson. I found this book because I was looking to learn more about H.H. Holmes, a prolific serial killer during the time of the Columbian World Fair. And yes, I only ever heard of him because of that one episode of Sherlock. The fair was created to commemorate the 400th anniversary of Columbus discovering America, but really was kind of a pissing match with France, who had recently had a very successful World's Fair. You can tell that Larson was influenced by the nonfiction of Truman Capote, not only because he says so in his author's note, but because the narrative was so seamless. The first and second person sources really painted a picture of what life was like in the Windy City during this time. This book not only focused on Holmes, but the architects and planners of the fair, the politicians of the time, and the inventions that premiered at the World's Fair, such as postcards, zippers, spray paint, the Ferris wheel, shredded wheat, commemorative squash pennies and stamps, and Pabst Blue Ribbon, which just proves that not everything with longevity is super great by default. So if you'd like to learn why Chicago is called the Windy City while also learning a crap ton of other information, this is the book for you. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, please let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you next time. Bye!